And we're back to another episode of Let's Play Shining Force Final Conflict. I'm your host, the RPG Guy, and yes, we are slowly coming to the end, as they say. This is the end, friend. As we are rapidly approaching the end, we are facing off with Darksol, and we are blasting him into oblivion as best as we can with our best attacks. But really, I just don't want to get hit by nasty things and constantly being hit from every which way. And you'll notice a little bit of a tomfoolery going on here to get us through this horrendous fight with this horrendous being. Ah, darn. Just gonna make it take a little longer. As you can see, we can still get damaged, and there's an element to this we have to consider. Do we really want to take a lot of damage or not? But there's an actual legitimate safe way to do this fight. And there's a lot of nasty ways to do it, so I'm kind of indifferent to either or, but okay, he can't reach anymore, so no point in leaving him there. Cynthia levels. Or became level 3. That's actually really good. Just as an example, too. He has freeze level 3 there. Bolt level 3 there. So nasty, nasty spells. And we're just gonna cheese the hardest part of this fight, which is really dealing with the hands of Darksol versus dealing with actual Darksol himself. Darksol himself is eventually is gonna be the element. If you go for Darksol just outright, you're gonna have a bad time because he's just gonna murder your face. And objectively, that's not really what you want to have happen. What you really want to have happen is that you murder his face, but while you're murdering his face, you're not being blindsided by the arms. That's really the situation that presents itself here. We have lots of healing items. He can only do 18 damage with that hand. So there's no reason for us to go gallivanting into his, towards the main body piece. We've started using some magic to get the process of killing going forward here. But really, you can just sit with a ranged character like Sonnet, which is interesting why she's kind of the only one with a bow. Because it would make this final fight a little too easy if there were two bowmen that could just sit there and snipe the hands, taking minimal damage, or taking very, very, very little damage, and then being able to objectively defeat one of the arms as we progress through it is kind of broken in its own way. Whereas if we look at the main head, you don't see that it can do anything, but it can. Clearly it will. It can and it will. You might say, well, what could it possibly do that would be a problem? The simple answer is that breath attack. Big AoE breath attack. And I'm saying this as like if you've not played this game before, if you're just playing strategically safe, that's really the way I would go about it. We'll kind of conserve her MP for going forward here if we can. One. Okay, if we're over here, he kills that hand. Should be okay. Okay. Left hand down. We don't need to necessarily maneuver to the other side. We'll move some people over there, but we don't need to move everybody over there, because clearly there's other things we gotta do. Until we can get Sonnet over there. Howl's not gonna do much damage even to the main body, so there's no point in really worrying about, you know, getting him over there. Leave Sylvia about there. And we'll pull Howl back. If he dies, he dies. Not much we can really objectively do about that. I want to move him over here. And then, because we can have him heal Howl, and then what's-her-name can work on healing little bits here and there, maybe as needed. Let's move Cynthia over here. I think she has one more aura. Yeah, she has a full aura still to cast. Of level 3 aura if I need it. That's a big if. Now the trick with this hand is that when we attack it, when the character takes damage from the hand, you gotta pull them away, which could objectively take longer, but because we have our monk over on this side, he can take a hit or two, unlike Cynthia, I would not trust to take a hit from the hand, so in a sense we can just kinda throw level 3 out there because she was wounded from earlier. And that'll objectively give her full health. Now he is in range of being hit on the AoE, but that's fine. Something like that. We want Kiddo in position, and even Rubrin to a degree, which he would be, in case I want to take that hand out in one turn. Or insert severe or important reason here. But he is burning through his MP very quickly, so he may not even be much of a threat for much longer anyway. With 80 MP, it's almost out of MP. I should have moved him. Let's go for it. The two heaviest hitters have, I think, yet to have a turn. Yeah! Alright. Kicking his butt. So this might be a short episode. Now we gotta be careful because there's a chance Rubrin's gonna get hit here by Darksol, and we're gonna let him get hit. The reason being is there's just no way for him to avoid the damage. If... okay, and didn't do anything. Odd Eye in range, we can actually... Start working over Darksol here. Now that the magical threat is primarily gone. It's weird, we can't get much closer, so I'm gonna pull Ruberin back, actually. Sylvia's already there doing her thing. Can't quite reach. See, that's what I was afraid of. Do as much damage as we can. Alright, we got him out of the mystery numbers. I think she needs to be that close. Yeah, she does, actually. Nice. I don't think he can reach really with anything. We'll pull Howl out because he can't reach. We still have a healing rain too, for anybody wondering. So we're not fully out of healing juice yet. So we may as well use it. There's no point in keeping it. Not really a point. And Kiddo's gonna get the final hit. And he critted. T21, no, nothing. Dead level. Alright.
It can't be more. Mere mortals can't have defeated me like this. My revival should have been completed. Oh, something has been holding back my powers, but what?
Darksol, the completion of your revival was hindered by the one you personally sealed away, the Devil King, Xeon. Ah, I can hear the voice of Goddess Metula.
Xeon, is that you sealing my powers from deep below?
Now, Ian, throw the necklace at Darksol.
Brrrr!
Oh, Darksol falls into the abyss. All members have revived. That's nice to see literally everyone there. At last, Darksol is... And we defeated him. Master Max, I... Adam wants to cry. Finally, the devils have been defeated. First of all, I must express my gratitude to you. But the next time we meet, we are destined to fight. Because I am a devil. Yeah, it was somewhat useful, right? Or die. We must never forget what happened here. Not ever. Ever. I almost pooped myself. Maybe we can forget that part. Ah, the sun is rising. So it is.
And so that's what happened, King Golem.
Splendid work, most admirable. You really are the shining force.
But Darksol's powers are still present in this world. He is not dead, and his revival must be prevented. So Ian left this sword, because its power could offer some protection.
King Gollum received the Chaos Breaker. This is the ancient sword that Max wielded, and that I awarded you recently, is it not?
That's correct, Your Majesty. This sword possesses the powers of light. Please use its powers to protect against the devil's revival.
I understand completely, so how about this? Since it's said that Xeon is sealed here too, we'll place the sword in the shrine. Because it possesses the protective powers of light, I expect it will supply extra protective strength.
Many thanks, Your Majesty.
So after this, the sword will be placed in the ancient shrine. The sword will be renamed to Force Blade, in honor of all you've done. It's a good idea, don't you think?
The Force Blade? Thank you, Your Majesty. This is indeed a very happy occasion.
And now, my children, have you decided on a person to work together with Gollum in protecting the ground seal?
Yes, we all agree that this matter should be decided by Ruberin.
This man is to become the king of ground seal. He's more patient. He's a more patient man than I, and far more suitable. Allow me to introduce him. No Shoe is honest. And what strength? I mean, he traveled all the way here by himself. He'll certainly become a great king, don't you agree, King Gollum?
But boss, I'm useless compared with ye.
Everyone has recommended that I make the decision, and I choose you, No Shoe. I don't expect anyone would disagree that you'll make a good king. Isn't that right?
Well, if it's the decision of the Shining Force, then who am I to refuse it?
Yahoo! It's decided. It's decided. No Shoe will be the king. Isn't it great, No Shoe? If you hadn't shown up when we faced the Kraken, I don't know what we would have done. No Shoe will really become a good king.
Yes, boss. No Shoe, congratulations on being the founder of Ground Steel. If you need help, I'll be here for you.
Huh?
There are many things I'd like to look into following our victory over the terrible crisis. The extent of devils and the seals, the purpose of light. I'd like to investigate the value of some of these phenomenon. There's a lot to learn.
Once again, we see the scholars' curiosity and Howl How'll do your best. Together with Noshu, you'll make a magnificent country. Shonnet. I'll do my best. Good. But everyone must try their hardest now that Ian, Max, and Adam aren't here anymore. Where did those guys go anyway? You're right. Where did they all go? Even Hot Eye fought alongside us. Everyone joined together, and for the first time we really were the Shining Force. Oh god. But I think I can understand more or less how Ian and the others must be feeling. Oh, as a man, I feel that now is the time for my own preparations. I want to travel too. What? Knuckles, you're just sleeping late while everyone else left without you. There's even a theory that Knuckles is the father of Jaha, or a descendant of Jaha because of the sleeping in all the time. I, for one, am sure they'll come back to us someday. Someday, without a doubt. Mephisto, this is the place where your parents sleep. Take a good look at it, and remember it well. There now, Mephisto, don't cry. Well, Mephisto, we must go quietly to the place where our comrades wait. And again, Mephisto is really Darksol 2, kinda, and he's gonna be Darksol in Shining in the Darkness, for those of you who've seen that Let's Play. And again, it's a translation thing. So there it is, Shining Force Final Conflict. But wait, is this? Flashbacks. So anyway, yeah, that's Shining Force Final Conflict. It's definitely has its pros and its cons, gameplay-wise. But for a lot of people, it's a huge connector to all of the Shining games combined. To think that this series was canon as far back as the first Shining Force game. A lot of people don't consider that. Now, to be fair, it's kind of haphazardly bundled together, but it's still at least handled quite well. And, you know, people like Mugi and the wonderful people at Shining Force Central have done a huge job in translating this. They've, I know, taken some liberty to try to help it better connect some of the different elements to the other Shining games, but I feel that they did a pretty darn good job. And it's not my place to say it's a good or bad thing. This is the best of the Gaiden games, though many people like Shining Force CD, that more, and that's because it's Shining Force CD. Okay, but the actual story and game content, the story itself seems more relevant in Shining Force Final Conflict than in Gaidens 1 and 2. Hence why I think of the Gaiden, the Sega Game Gear Shining games, this is the best one, but Shining CD is better, arguably, than Shining Force Final Conflict, other than the story element. There's more battles, there's more intricacy, it looks nicer, sounds nicer. Of course it is, it's a Sega CD game. But you're arguing graphics over content. The story in Shining Force Final Conflict is far more relevant than the stories in Shining Force Gaidens 1 and 2. With that said, I enjoy them all. Shining Force 1, somebody might ask, what is the order to play these in? Shining Force 1, Shining Force Gaidens 1, 2, and 3, Shining Force, or 3 being Shining Force Final Conflict, Shining Force 2, then you would play somewhere in there Shining in the Darkness, then all the all the Sega Saturn ones. Shining Wisdom, Shining the Holy Ark, and then Shining Force 3 scenarios 1, 2, 3. And that's the relative order that you would approach these Shining games. And that story has been canon ever since. That is considered a canon story. Now, outside of that, the Shining games definitely do not follow the lore anywhere after that. And the series has kind of gone significantly downhill after the Saturn Age, when Camelot stopped making these games. And there's no evidence to suggest that they're ever coming back to do it. Shining Feather is some people's more loved installment, but the series has kind of gone off the deep end, and I don't foresee it ever coming back to Earth, so, for lack of a better term. But Shining Force Final Conflict definitely, to some, a harder installment to get their hands on, with the translation, of course. Still a good game of the series. As far as it goes, though, gameplay mechanics wise, it's kind of the weakest. Even alongside Guidance 1 and 2, it's about as weak as they are mechanically, and through the AI and everything else. It's definitely in that weaker tier of Shining games, but I do like the story involved, and I do love the translation that was done to help make all of this more coherent to us. Master Ian, Master Max, where should we go to now? That's right, Ian. Should we go to my brother's place? Or maybe... And there it is. So, anywho, we may never know. But yes, is Shining Force Final Conflict a good game? It's for tactical RPG game, it's fine. It's one of the weaker Shining games, but definitely one of the more important ones when it comes to the story. Whereas you could theoretically never touch Shining Force Guidance 1 and 2. You can't go without Shining Force Final Conflict to help interconnect all of the story from Shining Forces 1 and Shining Force 2. With that said, it's my favorite of the 3 Gaiden games as Game Gear games. And I give it a pretty good score of a 6 out of 10. If a 5 is average, if a 5 is just to me is a C, that a 6 is fair. It's above average in the Shining games. You could do a lot worse than this game in the tactical RPG, strategy RPG genre. And it's definitely, if you're a fan of Shining games and have not played this, I cannot tell you how to go about playing it, but I can tell you to seek it out, because there's no other way for you to enjoy it. That's, decent. So if there's only one way to enjoy the game, definitely get your hands on it, especially if you want that story's completion. If you watch this Let's Play, you may not feel the need to want to play it because you've gotten the story element connected. But if you really want to experiment with the characters, play around with the strategy and all that, play this game. Go out and seek it out. It's definitely a good installment compared to the late Shining stuff that's been coming out. Anyway, thank you guys for stopping by. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/ActarStudios for more live gaming action. If you're interested or feel like you want this channel to grow more and you want to somehow find a way to support it, let me know in the comments below. Or let me know on the community page. Because I do hear people saying it, and the more of you that get on my back about doing it, the more likely I will do it. Because I will take some time out of my day, free time from recording games and doing the other shows and stuff. I'll find a way to take even more free time, at least a couple days a week, to work on that for you guys. But if there's no push to get it done, right away, no heave-ho to get it out of the way, we'll get to it as I get to it. But I love hearing the feedback and the commentary about, even my favorite comments are about how much you guys enjoy the game itself, not even the Let's Play, just nostalgia, or wow, I'm so glad you showed this game off. I don't maybe like the characters you picked or the way you played it, but I got to see it and it was such a fascinating ride. And so those are my favorite comments of all, next to the ones that are, and then right under that are the ones that are hilarious that I cannot ignore. So with that said, and without further ado, again, thank you guys for stopping by. It was a wonderful experience to come back and revisit such a classic game and share another Shining experience with my Shining fan base. and all of you who love Shining games out there. Thanks for stopping by, guys, and we'll see you guys next time.